Hey everybody, it's Matt here again, and we are doing another entry in my minimalist diary series, just dealing with this huge amount of stuff that I've got to get rid of, and looking at various issues that come along with trying to grasp a hold of this minimalist life and get rid of all the crap that we end up collecting. Today we are dealing with technology. I have got so many of these old phones and these cameras and plugs and wires and cords and clocks that it's time just to get rid of. You know, these cameras, they were once worth something, you know, that's a good lens. My whole idea with this minimalist thing was that one day I was going to do this art project, deconstructing it all and just taking to it with a hammer and smashing it all up. But you know, the whole minimalist thing is all about letting go. And it has a lot to do with us getting older and having to realize nothing lasts forever. Just like all this tech, time passes on, and you look at things like clocks, and you just think, and calculators and remote controls and these cameras and stuff, and you just think, once upon a time they were cutting edge. Ooh, that's valuable. We're trapped in this process where everything's becoming smaller, everything's becoming integrated. We're having to accept, man, you know, it's everything that's in this pile is now on our phones, and all the stuff that we used to have, all these gadgets, they're no good no more, they're useless. How quickly something that used to be worth so much, all these cords, oh, they plug into something, these cords, they might be useful for something. Well, no, you know, it's about the wireless era. The fact that we're entering an era where there are less and less cords. And it is a great relief that we are entering the future where things are becoming simpler, and it is that process of technology and evolution that is allowing people to become more minimalist, that we don't need dozens of different gadgets for every single thing that we do every single day, because it's all on our phone. All this stuff that used to be so valuable, that used to be people's precious equipment, it's now just junk. This camera I swapped for $1,200 worth of DVDs through my business. I thought, wow, you know, this is a really valuable piece of equipment, but no, within 5 or 6 years, it's basically useless because the technology has moved on, and it is quite shocking for us to see how quickly that is happening. And that is, I think, all part of the minimalist journey, and this is why I'm really into this minimalist thing, into this video, because the aspects that we're having to confront, it's not just about consumerism, it's not just about sentimentality, it's not just about the decluttering and the spiritual nature of letting go and learning, exercising that muscle to become someone who is good at having that skill of doing something that we all need to do, we all need to learn to do, to let go. It just has so many aspects to it. I'm just going to take a hammer to it and use that as part of my music videos, but you know, the imagery of all the stuff breaking down, being deconstructed, that was how I was tackling this whole minimalist thing when I was confronted by all this stuff. It's like, oh, but this is the remote control for this thing, you know, DVD players, videos, DVDs, CDs, mini disc, and all the formats move on and it's all over. That's what happened to my business. I made CDs and DVDs for a living for over 10 years, and now the whole paradigm's just been swept away. You know, we are now living in an era where it's all digital, it's all wireless, it's all online. Things have really changed. They really have changed. We're living in the future. even though that's exciting and we get to watch things change and develop, things are moving faster than you can keep up with. And when I look at these things and think, oh, it might be useful for something, no, at some time we have to get rid of it. We have to take responsibility for it, and it all ends up somewhere. It is good that the devices that we're actually using are becoming smaller, and they do more, so we need less of them. And like I said, this is what's driving the minimalism, that we're able to do more with something that we can just put in our pocket. And technology is giving people the freedom that they don't need places to store equipment, because we don't need so much equipment, because we can get so much more done with less. But it still leaves us with this moment of this era that has passed. From an ecological perspective, I have to find a place to take this back to. I have to take this all to the tech recycle place, and if I give it back to them in shattered pieces, I don't know what that says. That's what it says, that I was so indulgent that I wanted to make my artistic statement. Now, there's plenty of artistic statements that I'm able to make. This is what I'm doing right here. Obviously, you'll see on YouTube all these people with their clean white apartments and their tiny little gadgets, and they've got nothing there, and they're all very organized, and they're all very in the flow of it, and they're opening their lives to minimalism and all this grand stuff. But there are still people out there like me who have got all this junk, and we're dealing with what to do with it. I think, again, it's a generational thing that feel that, oh, it must be useful. It's not useful no more. And that's when you got to deal with it. We're learning something about the nature of how life is changing. We're learning to let go, and we're learning that the things that we buy, they may not last that long, because there'll be something better coming along. These things are just passing through. We are just passing through, and that's what it's all about. It's about confronting those emotions. When we are afraid to let go, what is it that we're really hanging on to? Am I afraid that I'm going to need this stuff? No, of course not. This is why I do these videos, because it starts to sink in. We now understand it's useless. It's time for it to go. Time's moved on, and that's okay. So it's time to take this to the tech recycle. We have to accept that it's just consumer stuff. You make space in your life for the things that you do care about, while at the same time learning that skill, that the things that we care about today may not be the things that we care about tomorrow. And we are living in a time where that is moving so quickly, and it will always catch up with us. We'll always get to the point that it kind of shocks us how quickly things have moved on, that life has moved on. It's a part of getting older. So like I said, that's why this minimalist thing fascinates me, because there's so many aspects to it. There's the economic, consumer aspect, where we're driven to buy, to feed the machine. Well, we don't need to do that anymore. We are able to find that we're happy with just the things that we got. Be happy with an old phone. Be happy with an old laptop. I'm not going to be buying brand new stuff because I need the best anymore. Just something that will do, because things are being thrown out so quickly. And this is something that I learned with my business. The reason my business succeeded was that, the reproduction of CDs and DVDs, something that had previously been done in a factory, was now able to be done in my spare room. And that happened so quickly that the businesses that had invested so much money into these huge machines, into this huge business of producing CDs and DVDs, were caught short by someone like me, who was able just to buy a bunch of printers for a couple $100 each, and a duplicator tower for $600, $700, $800, and I was away. The technology of a bygone era. The spaghetti will be over in a wireless era. And this will be just another relic of times gone by. Convenience rules our lives, which is for the better. It's a brave new world where we don't need these chunky ass bits of technology. We don't need a clock radio by our bed to wake us up. We don't need these dinky little phones that we used to text each other on. And what does it leave you with? More memories, more junk, more stuff that you're holding on to. So it's about getting rid of the stuff that we don't want and moving on. So I'm Matt. Thanks again for joining me for one of my minimalist diary entries. Today talking about tech. It all fades away. So that's me fading away until next time, our next minimalist adventure, taking on more stuff and taking out the trash. So thanks for watching and cheers.